and culture-shaping abilities of journalism in monthly magazines in what would turn out to be a golden age for the medium. We didn't just tell the story of our time. We played a part in driving the narrative for contemporary culture, celebrated its highs and shuddered at its lows. Some of what we did was frivolous, but a lot of it was important. Journalism was always considered a highly respected and vaunted industry, critical to society and democracy. Language and writing is what separates us from our monkey ancestors. It's what makes us human, for better or worse. Stories and narratives have a way of taking hold and not letting go. Religion is the most obvious example to reach for here, which is why the truth is so important. But narratives take hold whether they're true or not. Journalism is our guardrail. It's our story, the official record of humanity. When it's called into question, attacked, or practiced in bad faith, then the truth becomes subjective, and as a result, everything falls apart. At Vanity Fair, we worked hard and took our role as a major responsibility. And when the hard work was done, we had fun. I might have had more fun than most. Who am I kidding? I was a fucking dilettante, a role I assumed and perfected. Ultimately, my identity and my career became intertwined into one tight weave, to the point that I couldn't tell where one began and the other ended. And if your job is creating a fantasy, a luxury item, and that's what we did, it's understandable why that would be appealing. The story of the magazine business in the waning days of the 20th century and the dawning of the 21st is also the story of New York, a place I've called home for most of my life and have developed a grumpy middle-aged revulsion to, while I'm simultaneously willing to admit to a begrudging acceptance of its strange new traditions and culture. It's a city that's always attracted dreamers and misfits, artists and musicians, writers and weirdos, rich and poor, the aimless and ambitious alike, bound by the lore and lure of this place and the endless opportunities it presented. They were the fuel that made this place burn brightly for so many years. Inspired by the city, they gave us all that great art and poetry and journalism and literature and music, each generation's work inspiring a younger crop of creative immigrants and natives alike, passed down like an older sibling's book or record collection, who would take it, twist it into something new, something wonderful, from abstract expressionism to graffiti, from Rothko to Basquiat, from the beats to punk, from punk to hip-hop, which might just be the last great art form to emerge from New York's cultural cauldron, the end of the line. As I sat in a Soho cafe eating vegan, sugarless, date-sweetened chocolate cashew pudding and drinking an oat milk cortado after a particularly brutal Barry's boot camp, see begrudging acceptance, staring at my iPhone, a Tribe Called Quest's 1990 song Can I Kick It came on the cafe's speakers, with its sample of Lou Reed's 1972 New York anthem Walk on the Wild Side, inspired by all that New York poetry from the 50s and Warhol's band of factory misfits in the 60s, and produced by beloved New Yorker and immigrant David Bowie. More than half a century of New York's towering cultural influence and achievements in one sublime track, linking the poetry of the past to the beat of the present. There may be no song quite as quintessentially New York as Can I Kick It, a not-so-missing link from the then to now and everything in between. I lost focus for a moment as my mind wandered, thinking back to the first time I heard it all those years ago, a different time, the same place but a very different place, my foot tapping and my lips moving involuntarily. Proust can have his Madeleines. I've got Tribe. As I sat there, I feared we'd witness the end of that mythological place that gave us so much important culture and so many important people over the years, a place that could produce a song like Walk on the Wild Side and then reimagine and repackage it as Can I Kick It a generation later. The end of New York as the cultural capital of the world, and the end of the naked ambition, unabashed reinvention, and propulsive forward cultural progress that made it so. The end of the creative mecca that I'd aspired to be a part of and managed to navigate somewhat successfully, and then, in middle age, was forced to watch go through such profound and disappointing changes. As an old friend and early 90s partner in crime, Mark Spitz, the writer, not the swimmer, once wrote, "When your own Manhattan starts to vanish, you feel compelled to tell the story of what used to be there." Mark never got the chance. He died in 2017 at the age of 47, my age as I write these words.